games being loaded into the chess.com study, and it's a very simple process we have here. We're going to look at, well, first let me describe what the project is. We have been looking at the old cohort games and deciding which ones should go, because there's so many new annotations that we want to bring in. This is then part of a ChessDojo requirement to get the top 5 games from each cohort for people to look at. And then also we're doing a book called How to Analyze Your Games, where I want to feature 5 games from each cohort. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to decide. It's a long process. It's also kind of interesting to look through these games. And as a coach, whatever, it helps me understand where people are coming from. As someone helping with the program, it helps me see a little bit the problems in each of these different cohorts as well. We're getting up there now, though. And 1900, 2000, no slouching matter. I did go over these games more recently than, say, the very lowest cohorts. So these are more up to date. All right, so here we go. We are going to start with I Thought You Knew versus Intentionally Blank. So, just make sure everybody can hear me and stuff. DBL click, hello. Didn't I just look at this, dude? I feel like I just looked at this. Okay, I feel like I just looked at this game half a second ago. I'm gonna go kind of quick because I feel like, yeah, I just looked at it. Yeah, I just looked at this game, dude. Is it a deja vu moment? Okay. I Thought You Knew is all over the place too in here. So like I thought you, well, I Thought You Knew it's also got a game versus Patamundo in the 1600 to 1700. Interesting. Patamundo is the one annotating though. Patamundo has also gone up. And now we have Knows Knows All versus No Clue. Knows has a game in the 1800 to 1900 as well. Also known as Franco. So. Yeah, I've looked at these. This one I hadn't. I mean, the other one I just looked at because I went too far in the games. But this one I looked at a couple months ago. We could talk about this decision to play c4. Presumably, that's dude's intention with playing the very move order with bishop d3. I want to talk about too, like what the intentions are with knight e7. E5 I don't understand because you're not you can't protect the pawn after knight g6 or queen c7, right? So I don't understand that one. Bishop f4. guess I would want to talk, here queen e2 followed by bishop e3 or king h1 followed by f4 would be the plans. Spring to mind. Bishop f4, the guy wants to play d6, e5 anyway. Right? And you're going to get whacked with knight g6. So unless you're able to put the bishop onto d6, it's not great. Okay, but so if you criticize bishop g3 after knight g6, you need to say, obviously, that bishop f4 was a mistake. Right? Right, this is the game that me and Pruess looked at. I think when I look at it with Pruess, me and him are kind of like, this was a very interesting move, by the way. It's funny, me and Pruess both didn't believe this at first. We were like, no, you can't do it. I can't play this way. In some ways it makes sense because white has lost so much time. I think part of the problem for Nose here is that he needs to understand that now with this structure, losing the dark square bishop is a big deal. And here black has a choice about how to play at this position. There's more than one way to do it. I think it's clever to leave the knight where it is now, and we can wait. If f4 ever, then e5 is good, and we might just play e5 directly. e5 directly can't be that bad of a move. Yeah. Okay. So I remember this analysis. Not too hard. I think there's just some things dude doesn't understand yet in there, but that's okay. All right, I remember this game. I'll tell you what I might do. I might axe it if I find other games that are more interesting. But right now, I do think it's a good annotation. Let's go. And now look at the next one, Half-Lives. If I remember right, this game was amazing. Half-Life is just doing really good work. What's most impressive to me about Half-Lives is he's obviously doing a lot of opening work, but he had another game, I think it was a Sicilian game, where it was really impressive, the amount of knowledge he had. Okay. One thing I guess maybe he does say it, but the issue with the way black is playing is normally you do this kind of thing when this bishop is over here, right? And it's easier to fight for the c5 square. Castles. Already we can think about b4. And dude is like, yep, b4, thank you very much. So, now that we have an advantage, I think that we have to criticize some of these moves. Right? So if we go back here, this is all natural. And knight f3 is fine, of course. Black needs a different idea than a6 and what happens. One move in particular that's interesting is at this position is actually this. I would want him to maybe go into detail about other moves here for black, because it is kind of a hassle here. I understand his woes. Obviously, that's a thought. That's a thought. Queen a5 is a little weird, but maybe it's a thought. And then if he does do this, the question I have is, could he play c5 immediately? Probably not. No, probably not. Yeah. Okay, so we get this great position with b4. Thank you very much. Weird, yeah. Not sure I would want to trade your bishop out. It's such a nice bishop. We do have to move it because it will eventually get hit with a knight. So you talk a little bit about e4. And you're just going to go hack the thing. Just looking a little bit. There's interesting ideas here. Maybe at some point we'll even play a4 to bust him open. So we have a waiting move like bishop g3, which isn't dumb because dude's going to have to play knight bd5 soon anyway. You can also just play that. So I'm not a huge fan of bishop g5 and trading this thing. But okay, let's give it a chance. That's a fine move. So, first of all, the intention, right, is to play knight e4. So why not, for black, fix his bad piece now with knight d5? He does play it, dude. Oh, no, that's just mine. That's just my note. So knight bd5. White's definitely still better, there's no doubt. Black is, maybe, I guess, worried about knight e4. And it's by all means a nasty position here. But I'm going to get out of dodge here. I'm going to play like pop, pop, pop. It's definitely unpleasant. You know, this is it's unpleasant. It's very unpleasant. Dang. That's some good moves, man. calculating some sacrifices, right? Let's just say the obvious. This game is staying, dude. This game is staying. This sentence I don't immediately understand. It is now basically the other way around as Stockfish is evaluating the moves. So is that a Stockfish thing? Is chess come down for me? Well, I'm using it right now. That's all I know. Notes. Oh, and black offers a draw here. Ah, that ain't it, buddy. That ain't it. That's a nice variation. This goes down. Very tricky. Now the rook is up, probably offsides. Yeah, black putting the bishop to e8 would definitely make sense. In fact, we should just say that should be their goal. There's all kinds of things we could say in addition to this, but this is a great game. Half-Lives is, I think, one of the best annotators in the dojo. Oh, I don't want to leave. Cancel. So I'll go back here. So now we got Chess Pirate, and I thought you knew shouldn't have two games, Fox. So one of these has got to get axed. Unless it's Chess Pirate doing the annotations. Oh, no, Chess Pirate's doing the annotations. Okay, there we go. Interestingly, Chess.com is the one saying that Chess Pirate's an NM. That's not in our database. It just automatically somehow knows. Let's look. So d5, a5, g4. That's a good explanation, dude. These are good notes. Black gets frisky. I definitely would want some more variations here. Black goes back in all sadness. In all sadness, it goes back. drilled all the lines and everything. So h3. Yes, sir. It's gonna get hot. Yeah, g5, 94. It looks like counterplay. Wow. G5 again is wrong. Oh gosh. So knight f3. c6. g5. Takes. 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 Oh my lordy. Whew. All right, so these people are going deep into the preparation. Yeah, I don't know who is this too hot to handle for, dude. This might be too hot to handle for everybody. All right, so we're following a chessable course. Dang, this guy's amazing. Now, when it says I played this move, are they doing a combined annotation? What's happening here? Okay, so I guess some are from the opponent, such as this a5 move. Now, one thing that's definitely happening is, this happens to everybody, but it's just a trap, is that they're kind of, they've memorized some stuff, and maybe they've looked at a computer or something, but, we need to start looking at the position through our own eyes, right? And I think a good way of saying it is that if the knight on h6 were on c5, black would be winning, or much better. All right, so here we go, queen e2. b4. Well, knight a4 certainly makes sense to me. And is v4 a mistake? Do we understand a5? Okay, so here he says, this is the line I should have played here. So, right, the thing with a5 that's really tricky is it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, Bose. Why are we doing it? So, right, like there's all this, we can talk about calculation forever, but the question of why we're doing it is the big one. And interestingly, with the b4 mistake, the knight a4 mistake, it's a little bit like white is saying, maybe even remembering their own variations. All right. The thing I want black to say is like, Bouse, I've got this knight and it's got to get fixed. So something like knight h5, f5 has got to be on the table. Be interesting to think about it from white's perspective too. Like, best move here? What do we think the evaluation is? What is the knight doing on a4, right? What does that thing want? Okay, so this all goes down. This is great. These are great, though. This is one of the best. These people have they went at it, dude. They went at it, going for, you know, it's a little bit confusing to differentiate who's talking. But comment from April. Yeah, these people are going, dude. Comment from today. What a game. As in all Kings Indian. All right, so this is a great annotation. Someone's shouting at me on the Discord. What is it?
What the motivation for joining the dojo is, right? Like, I totally get it. It's like, I'm struggling and I'm stuck, but it sounds like you felt like you were making progress. So why join the dojo? Which, by the way, is a great program. This is not a knock against the dojo. I'm just trying to figure out why join it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I think it was, I really didn't have like a strong training regimen. I didn't really know what to do, and I kind of wanted someone to just tell me what to do. I also liked the community of being able to have other people to like compare things with, and that was really intriguing to me. But the main thing that drew me in was like, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. Like, it felt like a coach, but like without having to have an actual coach. So it was nice to have a set plan of what I need to do to get better, and it worked. So I don't know.
Great. That was just something Kostya sent me in the Discord, distracting me from this very difficult game analysis I'm doing here. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one in there. Chess Pirate, I thought you know. By the way, we're gonna go look at Chess Pirate, dude. Because I'm not really, I thought you, maybe we'll look at both of those guys. So, I must refresh. So, all right. User search. Chess Pirate. Where is the Chess Pirate, boss? Oh. Maybe sometimes they have a different name, and then that's a bummer. So, let me know Chess Pirate. That's a bummer. Chess Pirate. It seems like he just got to be in the program, dude. He was doing all these notes. Okay, and then I thought you knew. We just saw him, boss. I thought you knew. FIDE 1797. In the wrong cohort. But I guess he's normalized in 1914. Huh. I'm confused about this game with that we're looking at over here with Chess Pirate. Chess Pirate is somebody else, dude. If I go, he's got some other name on our Discord. Does somebody know Chess Pirate out there? Okay, so there's one more game. It's Macintosh versus Dean. So it ends up transposing, but could black have taken advantage of it? Would be my big question. Like queen b6 might be kind of annoying to face now. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this one. Right? So we have 2 games to find in the 1900-2000, and I don't know if we're gonna have that many either because it's a rarefied cohort. So let's go look, and we're gonna go games. I can imagine doing more than one person actually in a given one. Oh, right. And Shalakiri sent me their games, dude. Yeah, Shalakiri was, dude, check out my stuff. Dude, I'll totally check out your stuff. I looked at some actually, and Shalakiri looked like they had great annotations. So I'm guessing we're going to get one from Shalakiri here. Okay, I definitely think bishop b4 makes a little bit more sense, but that's just me.
Daddy,
Yeah.
clean up the room.
Are your socks all in the right place, buddy?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at what you do. Look at what you do. We can watch TV.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah!
Okay. So,
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
okay. So, right, we have to criticize h3. If you're going to play knight e5, there's no point in playing h3. And then f4 has to be criticized as well. But he's not telling us really what should be happening here. Bishop g5 is controversial because you don't really ever want to trade the dark square bishop. Okay, I like this one a lot. But I just want to look at some of Shalakiri's other annotations. And here we would want to talk with c takes d4 about what the downside is, right? Instead of talking about theory. It's that now we're getting this position, honestly, a little bit similar to the one you just got in the French with an IQP. Now the thing about knight c3 is then you I think his statement is fine. Bishop d2 we should criticize, or at least talk about. Because black doesn't, he loves this setup. Oh, I like what you did. Okay, not about annotation. I'm going to look at a different one too. There's a lot of questions to be answered, like how white should be setting up and what we think about this position. Like, this is the big moment for white. Also, I really wanted to talk about this move for white. Okay, so let me look at another one from Shalakiri here. I think bishop c4 it will transpose, and bishop g4 is odd. It's cool that he's playing Dojo aggressive repertoire. F3. Now this would definitely be spicy. And I agree with you, this is weird. Knight e2 is more natural. Oh, I like that variation with 94. All right. So black has turned the tide on you a little bit here. So what's interesting to me about this is that despite white having lost some time, the fact that the knight on f6 is so terrible makes it so that white's position isn't so bad. And then this has this problem. Good. Rook d6, c takes, bishop takes, king c7. Personally, I think white looks great. For example, let's put this bad boy back here. Yeah, white looks stupendous. One of the questions too is, like, I like white's position here. Do we think white is better here, or what do we think is happening after h3? Now, I think we got to talk about bishop c6, because doesn't black needs to do something pronto, and doesn't it make sense for black to put the bishop here so that we get access to this square? Right? So one thing we're seeing from white's annotations is a lot of times he's not paying too much attention to his opponent's moves. here. So like bishop e6 would be the big question. And it affects then how we evaluate h3 and how we evaluate rook takes d6. Because after bishop e6, I'll just say I'm a little worried for white. I don't know exactly what's going on. I'm just a little worried. Because knight c4 is a thing. Like let's say we play the natural knight g2. Knight c4 happens. Yeah. That's confusing to me. Seems like he's doing good. Black is. Which means you should probably go for this. It's a really nice line. And maybe what you did was you stopped short in this position, just saying I don't have an immediate kill or something, you know. Yeah. Okay. God. Rook e7 is kind of suspect too. I don't really know what he's doing. And so, in addition to knight d4, knight f4 also looks strong, intending this kind of thing. Because now it's harder for this bishop to move. Yeah. Definitely strange. So he talks about this. Okay. A lot of these moves are going unannotated. Do we really want to do that? Bishop d2. Is there really nothing else besides bishop d2? Maybe there isn't. But we would definitely want to say something more about it. For example, what about your rook d6 now? Isn't that better than going back to d2? So maybe you felt like you were worse. It sounds like you felt like you were worse here or something. There's a lot of moves here we need to talk about. Okay, now it all goes away. Okay, these are pretty good notes. I'll tell you what, I'll feature it. That doesn't mean it gets in the list yet. But there's a lot of things that aren't being addressed. Okay. There's a very recent game from Laurent. French Cup. Nice. Yeah. Okay, good notes. This is like the old way of white, for white to play. H3 is definitely weird. What is this idea about? What is this idea? No. But what? Does he need H3 to do bishop F4? No, right? Because knight H5 is always a bum move. So, okay, so we don't like B6 too much. Bishop D6. Okay, this is interesting. Bishop D7 is a little weird. Oh, that's fine. And what are we saying? B6. It's probably fair. Okay, explores it, but that's fair. Bishop D6. So, okay, this is great, dude. Now it's knight B4 wrong. It's hard, yeah. Mhm. Okay. Good move. And now knight BD5 is a little surprising to me. Why not play rook C8 followed by bishop C6? Okay, I agree that white's going to be better, but that's why you shouldn't be playing knight BD5. You got to put a bishop on C6 first, pals. Okay, good notes, yeah. Right, and it's important to see your bishop on D7 now. It doesn't really have any great squares. Okay. Here's why bishop D2 is not. That's not it, buddy. That's not it. What should white do? One thing that there's several ideas here for white to consider. One would be a5, and I presume both of you guys were thinking then you just go win the pawn, but then your bishop is going to be out to lunch while it's winning said pawn, right? And maybe even right away, like life is very unpleasant. So I think a5, that's the hassle in the castle right there. I don't think you, I think it's, well, yeah, it would be insane to be taking that thing. Okay, so bishop d2, bishop e6. Now we're at a loss of a plan. I agree, knight d7, okay. Knight e4, definitely consider knight e4. Let's see what you say about that. This would be an interesting position. If you thought you were worse here, you can dynamically defend. And also, this would be an interesting endgame to play. Yeah. That might be the sows for the vows right there. It's at least a plan, right? Better late than never. No, what is he doing? That's certainly a little weird. Yeah, so weird things start to happen. It seems like he's saying bishop f8 is better. And then the question becomes, what's the nature of white's advantage here, right? Looks like it's a little bit better for white. So knight g4 is a little weird, but it's heading. It does have a plan, right? So in this position, probably want to criticize maybe even knight d7. Momo Chess, thank you for subscribing. Momo Chess, this is a raid. So what we're doing is we're going over the top games of the dojo annotation, one of the best annotations in the dojo. We're putting a book together called How to Analyze Your Games, and it's a hard decision, dude, because we have a lot of very good annotations. Yeah, and probably at some point I just want to say that white is better here. Then it's true, that's a horrendous move. Now you played bishop f8, but okay. Yeah, so I agree with knight f5 is better for white. Bishop c3, I don't know, what's the bishop doing over there? He's getting frisky. Okay, interesting. Interesting stuff too. Now it would make a lot of sense for bishop d2 to happen. Still, well, now we can't do bishop d2 anymore. And this looks superficial, what white's doing. Because we want to play g6 anyway. Oh my lordy. When is white going to fix his bishop on c3? And definitely like rook e5 we should consider here for white, right? Why isn't rook e5 happening? And he allows it. Okay, good. Good. So bishop e4, rook e4 is the idea. But that's like positional resignation right there. Is there really nothing better? He wants to play f5 real bad. Could you have played f5 anyway? No, why do we need f5? Why don't we just play bishop d6? And we're threatening. Well, bishop d6 would be my question anyway. God. Good. Fine. All right, g5, hg, rook takes king f2. That looks very hard to meet. What about rook c2 here, Bowers? I'm dying. All right, this is some time pressure situation. Rook c2 happens. Snip, now it's gone. Okay, let's feature this game. That was pretty great. All right, nice. Zula Gula, thank you for being a first-time raider. Okay, I got to deal with some life problems and make myself a cup of coffee. I'm going to be back in a second. Okay, life problems can be fixed with coffee. That is right. Thank you for subbing 8 months, Velvet Canyon. There we go. Okay. This is all messed up, dude. This situazione. Why did you guys not tell me that it was looking all messed up? Oh, what happened here? I switched scenes and no one told me that it was all messed up. Whose fault is this? You guys, what's going on here? I switched scenes and no one told me it was all done? You jerks. Okay, this is terrible. How did this happen? Wait. How did it happen? What is happening here? Hopefully it was only at the very last that I had scrolled down like that. Okay, I think it was. Let's claim that it was. Okay, so I think I featured this game, and let's keep looking. Again, now what we're doing is, this is the Dojo database. We got loads of great games, and I need to find at least 2 to put into the cohort games. The cohort games are a requirement for the people in the cohort to study, so good annotations at their level so they can see what it looks like. And also we're doing a book called How to Analyze Your Games. We're going to put that in there. We've got Master Toaster. Master Toaster. Let's click on Master Toaster real quick. Yeah, I think he's graduated a bunch. And so I've seen annotations from him from in other cohorts too. Good note. Right. This is hilarious because this is a deep computer move, D3. And in general, you're not supposed to take it. However, white needs to understand how to do this kind of play. Right. And here already white makes a mistake. So it's important, it's hard for the white player has to understand what's happening. The claim is really odd, right? But it's that white is actually significantly better, right? It's an odd claim. It's not the first thing that you would think of, right? But white is going to claim that they're significantly better, and it has to do with the fact that the king is actually going to be very useful where it stands. The pawn on c6 is a bit of a chump, and it's hard to know where to put this thing. Right? So, right, he remembers something about that strange move, and then white sets up with f3. Okay, so white blows it, doesn't understand. Why is this a mistake? Because now the king cannot get to the c2 square. I think knight d7 would be what I would be thinking of here. But bishop e3, you castle long, and he's got a question for Mr. King. Oh, this coffee's really good this morning, my friend. All right, this is good. These are good annotations, man. A3 is definitely a loser. The cure might be worse than the disease, that's right. Yeah, now you're doing good. Yeah. And also, you could play rook d8, intending king e7 with very similar ideas. Okay. In either case, white probably has to play f3 anyway, though. Right? Like rook d8 castles, and with an f3, he says a positionally horrible move to make, but it keeps things together. What Master Toaster needs to understand is that his bishop is terrible here, and his knight. So it's not immediately clear that white is worse here. All right, that's terrible, not understanding that these pieces aren't dead now. Castles. Rook d8 was also a thought. A move, knight fd7's interesting, but this makes sense. Also not a fan. The knight on f6 was our worst piece. Now we fix it. Good move. That's annoying. Mm-hmm. No, these are great notes. Okay. Here I would want him to say what the eval is. To my mind, it's winning, though you still have to prove it. And f6 is definitely a move we want to think about, but on bishop f7, don't we have this problem with these two coconuts hanging? So king d7, knight g3, f6. No, I think you're going to have to eventually play f6, Bows. Your bishop needs to reroute itself. And right here we want a variation with knight e3. And I believe in your position a lot here, but this is what you would want to analyze a little bit. Now it's easy. Uh-oh, you blew it somehow in here, buddy? Okay, wait. Hi, Abdul. Just thinking about this for a second. Well, that's tricky. So actually, yeah, a lot of times this position, of course, looks totally winning, but after knight e8, it is actually kind of tricky. Yeah, it should definitely be winning. b5. So So I think, well, it's interesting to think about what is the motivation here, right? Is the motivation so that he doesn't have knight c4? I don't know. I would want to at least look at king d5 here. Now, the implication with these moves being unannotated is that black has zero chance of doing anything here. That might be true. However, I wouldn't want to leave it unannotated. For example, let's say I go here. Right? I don't know where you're gonna go. Let's say you go here. Let me just construct a position. Let's say I get this one. Don't I at least have the right to play on? Right, knight e2. Again, maybe this is drawing, but it's something I want to at least play on. I want to analyze it a little bit. Okay. I like the annotation. Those feature this game. So far, I haven't really found like a zinger yet in terms of the annotations. They're good ones. I'm really pumped too. I want to say that our database, you know, we just have, I'd say the dojo's doing great, but one problem we have is that when we get to the upper cohorts, it makes sense. There's going to be less people up there, right? And so it's cool to see in this one, 19 to 2000, that we have 114 games. And I have a feeling there's going to be some really good ones, like Half-Lives in the last cohort, doing really amazing. Well, in this cohort, excuse me, doing really amazing work. Okay. And here he does it in German, which I guess I can't add to the database, but I don't mind. I can even read it. I can even read it, Bows. Now, one of the things about C3 is that is a lame-o move, and we should criticize it. It's a lame-o move because you're doing it out of habit, right? Makes no sense in this position. In some positions, it'll make sense to play the triangle. Here, it doesn't make any sense. Okay. The people with higher ratings are too proud to join the dojo. Maybe we also haven't sold it well enough. It's like it's a little bit our fault, you know. And I think it's understandable too, where, you know, if you've made it to 2000, you kind of have it. You have your own notions of what training is. You already have been training for a long time. So you probably have a little arrogance about what good training looks like. For example, Pruess, the guy can't even imagine doing made in twos because he's like, I already know everything. Of course he's wrong, you know. Of course he's wrong. But that's an example of being too proud. Okay, so I'm going to go over this dude's games at some other point, but I can't put him in it just because it's in German. His German's great, by the way. Like, you see a lot of these people writing English, their English is not especially amazing. Here we got Here and Now again against Moodla. He's playing someone lower rated. This game with Moodla might be annotated by Moodla as well. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say I have a vague memory of this game. Yeah, I have a memory. I've looked at this game before. Okay. Tibby. Okay, what's to say about this game? People are really influenced by the Noel Studer influencer. On the search for the playing room. Okay. Birkenfeld. Okay, controversial. Okay. Whew, yeah, hot. the course talks about bishop d7. By the way, this is where, of course, I don't know, it's so helpful because bishop d7, that's pretty highfalutin. And we want to, okay, this is my problem with a lot of times when people are writing their opening, like when they go into this and they're like, I forgot, or I didn't do this. So the issue with rook g6 is the knight on e2 needs to move anyway. So aren't you setting your rook up to get smacked with knight f4, right? Bishop d7 is a hard move to play because it's not it doesn't feel good, right? The problem then is also like, well, what is white going to do after bishop d7? Okay. Also, we'd want to talk about like what are the dangers in this position, right? The danger, I think, is like, oh my God, that dark square bishop might eventually be a genius, maybe. A human move could be check to the miserable king and then coming over. And then maybe we could say white might be a little bit better there because of the bishop. Okay. That's frisky. And like I said, now the knight has something to do. And white goes for it with d5. Makes a lot of sense to open the bishop. This dude's, bang, he's getting bishoped. He's getting bishoped. Okay. So do we think that was better than that knight d5? Okay, there's knight d5, queen d5, which we could analyze like, well, what do we think of that position? And c4 as well looks really interesting. So I don't understand. What is the eval after c4? So knight f4 looks like it loses immediately. e3, hard to understand what this move is about. Because we're just whacking. We lost a piece, right? Okay. So, not a bad annotation. These are all pretty high level games too. So, one of the things we've got to say is, are we toast? Is it already all gone? That's forced. Is that a mistake? It looks like, if c4 is winning, it looks like it's a mistake. Here I thought wrong. Well, what do you mean you thought wrong, buddy? Okay, not bad annotations, but I'm gonna skip this one. I'm enjoying this Cohort annotations. These are good. These are some good games. Here we have another one from Nose. We also have Cranky Old Man Gaming. This guy brings it, dude. Have I seen this? I think I've seen this one. I'm going kind of quick just to see if I've looked at this already. Yeah, I have seen this. What's so weird about this is I have this big debate with Jack Stenglein that I've seen some games in an earlier cohort, and he's like, no, you're not seeing it. It's not true. And I'm like, I've already seen it like 10 times. And so then one time he got me in this one game I posted because I was like, look, here's it's a little bit pedantic what I'm talking about here. Good morning, Theo, the Kevin James. Okay. Yeah, DC is definitely more thematic. Well, Bishop D7 should be talked about. And now what's interesting is E4 looks thematic, but is it wrong? And what should white do if it's not? I like what you're saying, B3, maybe maintaining the tension is best. Okay, these are great notes, man. I feel really suspicious about 97. But, yeah. In addition to B3, Queen B3 looks pretty interesting for white. Yeah. Okay, because now E4, it might look like your central pawn move, but it looks like you just want a pawn mouse. Good move. And now we have, right, like a Slavy structure. Am I allowed to say that? Slavy structure? Mm-hmm. I remember this game. All right, I remember this is a great annotation. I'm going to feature this as well. By featuring it, by the way, let me show you what it means. So on the scoreboard, if you go to the news feed and you go to look at the graduations, underneath the graduations, you see these are our, I did the graduation show every Thursday. So these are the people who've graduated since Thursday. Anyways, here's the featured games. And in a lot of ways, it's just a repository. It's, hopefully people find it cool that I featured their games and you can see which games I thought were good annotations. Also, Kostya and David can put featured games here too. But in any case, I then use it to go back and look at, this might do a selection because we just need 2 games. We need 2 games. I could do more too. But this was a great annotation and I remember this one. I think maybe from a graduation show or something. I looked at it. This one, we can't do this one because I think that guy got accused of cheating. Here's another one from Notes. My wife promised to take the puppy during this game. Okay. All right, so he starts making things up. All right. Right, queen c7 seems better. Weird. Okay. Okay. Yeah, knight c6, or maybe even yeah, knight c6 makes a lot of sense to me. That's definitely wrong. It's like he's deliberately misplacing his knight. I guess I want Nose to say that. Like, there's a lot of lines in the Sicilian you like wasted tempo with queen b6 to force the knight away. Now he gets a little frisky. This is actually, I'll put in my own words and then we'll see how Nose says it. This is very tempting for players and is generally a mistake. And the reason is, and when I say this, I mean breaking in the center. Because black has, he's down tempi, but he's got play in terms of dominating white's pieces. For example, bishop on d3 is a chump. Knight on b3 is definitely a chump, right? But we do need to catch up on development, right? And we should believe that white's not going to be able to hurt us in any significant way. So bishop e7, right? f4, castles. I mean, I would say black is better. We're going to put the rook on c8 like we always do, White is fundamentally shouldn't have the time to get away with stuff. And if white goes for it with g4, that's when you hit him with d5, right? Okay, so d5. And he should be thinking about weird stuff like e5. Bishop g5 is a thought. And now he should consider e d5, bishop d5, c4, yeah. And then it's not clear what's happening anymore, right? Now in this position, unless we have a good move for black, I would expect it to be better for white because rook ac1 is about to land, right? And this would be a typical way in which black wished, hey, I wish I was castled, Yeah, this is going to be a hassle. Okay, so c3. So basically, you're playing somebody who doesn't understand time. They don't get it. They should at least consider f4. Good, I like that variation of knight d5, knight f4. That's exactly maybe what you missed. Maybe we could write that. So wait, I want to read this. The point of bishop d5 is that I'm preventing knight e4. Why is black better here? I don't know. maybe I believe in it. Just because we have this stuff. It wouldn't be because of h6. But 95, c4. Okay. So then in this position, it's a little bit tricky to know exactly how black should play this. I'd like to believe that black is better here, though. I'm not sure bishop b3 is correct, though, because 95, knight c4 is a hell of a drug. Oh, yeah, knight g6 is a mistake. Right. So knight c4, yeah, that's the old-time move. You might have other things, too. Yeah. Also, since white doesn't really have any moves here, building moves like rook a b8 are kind of interesting too. And knight g6, dude, if it was my move here, I would strongly consider knight e5. Going back. He takes this thing. Did we lose control of the game? Wow. This is certainly an interesting position. Hard to know exactly what's happening right away. Well, this is fascinating. So first of all, white's the one who starts the drama here with queen g4, right? It's obviously a very natural move. But evaluating this position right here, like, I'm not sure who's better. It's very hard for I don't know, I think anybody to judge here. And whilst it probably is insane, G3 we should probably look at, even though it probably is technically insane. Because with the idea of killing the knight. And now, wow, this is hot. Yeah. I'm not 100% that he has to take the knight. But this is definitely a really interesting business here. So queen g4, check to the miserable. And we're saying if king h1, rook f2 is devastating. Is it though? Oh, Lordy, I'm afraid of my life and the long arm of the law. I don't know what's going down, Mr. Mommy. I don't have very long. This is a firm no Nintendo on my part here. No Nintendo. No, I don't know. So I guess he considers two moves here: bishop h2, and also is there a different one though? He doesn't, because he says bishop and queen f7. With the idea of knight e4, rook f4. Holy cacholes, cannolis. Wow. 96, rook h2. We got to talk about. Wow, and so if knight f4, then there's bishop f3. Very fancy. Look at that. Let's just put that on the board. That's a cool variation. So queen f7. That was a stunning variation, man, with 94. Let's do that again. Okay, now, the problem is for us that rook f4 is coming. The only move to really try for anything. Okay. Pause for a second here, though. What is, first of all, the body count? The millennials like to talk about body count these days. We are down a pieshka. No, we're not down anything, buddy. Stop saying you're down stuff when you're not down stuff. So knight e6 is kind of a curious move, whereas rook e3, I'm not sure what's happening here. It's messy. It's very messy. And our intention is probably to play knight f3 sooner rather than later. And if rook h2, rook ae1. Whew, man. Okay, time out. So what we gotta say is, hold on. Where were we? We had this whole thing. Right, queen f7, good. And then, what is the eval here after rook f6? Right, oh my gosh. I mean, why is queen d3 an exclam? King f1. The morphine move, okay. Okay. Why it's rook on a1 is watching TV. Yeah, rook d8 is definitely an engine move. Now, what I don't understand though is that queen g4 variation was totally, I guess he feels that queen g4 variation black was better. Because he gives queen d3 an exclam, so. All right, it's a natural move. Yeah. Okay, so what we're seemingly saying is that the reason he's saying that that queen d3 was the better move is that this feels forcing to him, and that b3 would leave questions about who's better and why. Right? So, queen h5, threatening the exchange sack. And then he's talking about rook d1. The intention of rook d1 is so that the king can move without dropping the rook later. Mm-hmm. Wow, dude. Now, we have a game from Nose already in this cohort, but even though I have some problems with this annotation, this is an amazing annotation here. Right, let me just try to backtrack the logic of this. So we're saying that queen d3 was better than queen g4 because here Nose isn't finding anything concrete. Though optically it would seem like black is crushing, right? It seems like black is crushing. Okay. There's 2, king f1. And then, right, there's this rook d8 move, which honestly, yeah, it's hard to, it's fathomable. And the other thing to consider, the reason you might consider it actually is a human move here is e5 to hit the knight. And that's how you might find rook d8. If you're in time pressure though, rook af8, that's just what you're going to do. These are great notes. Yeah. This is amazing. Alright, so now dude blows it, and now he basically went the wrong way. Dude went the wrong way, and now he's gonna get mated. Nice, dude. Very nice, okay. And then we have this stunner variation. F7, no perpetual, buddy. This is a great game, dude. And now we gotta win it all over again. That's a great variation. Dude, this is fantastic. Now we got some drama. Oh shit, here we go. I guess I would want to know what the situation is. I think it's like they're on 30-second increment and probably neither has any time left. Okay. So, What's curious to me is if we're going to play king d3, right, why not first? And apparently the answer is this. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's a great variation of it. Okay, this is great. Yeah. So king d3 first. And now what we're saying is on h5, king e3, h4, king f2 is in time. Beautiful. Okay. Now he gets to do this. Now, I'm just going to do a variation just to check something. If h5, then I'm a little concerned that after rook g1, it won't be easy to advance the pawns. Let me just put it here first. We're just going to see. So now if rook g1 ever, I'm just playing king g6. Now, is maybe he doesn't really want to play bishop c4, so let's just keep cooking. Cook. And it is nice that we get to do that with the queen. And I think we're just this makes things easy. Should be winning. Okay. So amazing. Dude, these are fantastic notes, dude. Wow, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the game I'm going to put in, for sure. It's not even a question, dude. It's not even a question. Wow. Okay. A link to this. I'm going to put a link to this in the cohort here. So, in the cohort, in the general. So, great annotations by nose. That was amazing, you guys. That was a great annotation. Okay. Whew. Man, oh man. That was work, dude. That was work. Now, one thing that's interesting about Here and Now, aka Lauren, is he's playing a lot of players in the dojo's great. Like he's doing like basically practice games against them. More interested in games around his level. It's a rated classical tournament. One thing I don't understand about Lauren too is he's in France. He's got all these chances to play beautiful chess. Why not play? Why not play on over the board? Okay, so he gets hosed here a little bit. Okay. Okay. Gets a little wacky. Oh my God. It's hard to imagine that white shouldn't do this. Right? I think it's definitely unnecessary to allow g5. So bishop e3 here. In my eyes, that's a winning position for white. You're still going to have to do something nasty like play g5. And that d4 bishop is your one good piece. So let's get rid of it. Okay. So, not bad notes. Let's check out Noob Master. Kostya had a really interesting, painful loss yesterday with the Rosalimo structure. God, it was brutal. But isn't d6 a mistake? You gotta play knight f6, right? Now we're worse. All right, let's skip this. There's too many open questions. Braden. Oh, Braden, dude. Braden's like got a love-hate relationship with chess. And sometimes he's studying crazy. And sometimes he's just whining on the internet. Yeah. Well, and then isn't knight takes e5 also a thing here? It's hard to call. I can't call castles dubious, and I can't believe that knight d4 is some kind of great move. I'm sorry. No, you're a little bit better here, Bowes. No, you're better in this position, buddy. You have better development, you know. E3. And now you just go for the endgame. Now, you're saying you don't have anything else besides this fair move? DE5? Okay, so from Braden, I would want a little talk here about what's happening. Right? But I understand white can make a claim that they're better here. Why is king f2 wrong then? Right? Okay. Not sure b8, yeah. So, well, we should say what they should do and how it should go. Oh no, yeah, he's got a nerves problem, dude. Bowes, you're better in this position. Even if it's black's move, you're better here. Oh, man. Let's look at another Braden game. All right, here we go. Okay, fun. G6, E6, okay. Oh, it's a fun move, dude. Now, what's interesting, I'll just say about it being risky is when you go back, it's also risky because the knights get to take hold of the light squares. definitely we need to do a big analysis on A4. So what you're saying is A4, King A8. First of all, King A8. What are we doing, buddy? What do you mean? What do you mean, King A8? This is hard for me to swallow some stuff here. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look at Krolf. All right, this is the old way to play this position. Very popular at it's called the club level. Now, generally, it's thought to be, the whole reason to play bishop f4 is to slow down knight f3 so that they don't get this trade. And here you want to play knight bd2. So it's a little bit of the case of dude not understanding his own opening. And now we need to look at some other stuff. For example, on Queen A5, that way we will achieve E5. In the game, it's true, maybe you hold him back a little bit. Okay, not bad annotations. Oh, we got another one from Half-Lives. This guy's a genius, dude. Now, one thing I know is that G6 is playable here, but this is just bad. Okay, good, and now we're better. First of all, you could play bishop d3. Okay, this is viable. Gotta play 97 because now 94 is the end. Half-Life's move with notes are amazing, dude. Half-Life's, it's just really good. Just throw away the pawn, exactly. Right, knight c5 is hard to argue with. Here my opponent somehow already resigned. He just gave up, dude. He had enough. He had enough. Well, Black just had enough, dude. He's had enough. He can't take it anymore. Timpa. I think I know who Timpa is. Let's just click him on a second. Good. Ah, Timpa's doing some great work, dude. Look at that. Look at that, my friends. Yeah, that's some real work. Okay. So here we go. Okay, and he's playing Headcanon, who is also a longtime dojoer. Right, now the issue with Queen D2 is, are you going to get hosed with some kind of knight e4, bishop b4 thing? Right, and there it is with the knight e4. Black doesn't see it, so we should criticize these moves. Okay. True, only helps carry out the plan. A5 didn't help. Good. What? Okay, Tim, but we need to say things here, Bowers. We need to say things. Yeah, knight c5, buddy. What are we talking about? Put your knight in there, buddy. Put your knight in there. Rook a8. You don't have to do anything here either. You are in firm control. Rook c3 could be your default move here. Also, g4, I don't think you had to do it. Okay, not bad annotations. Wow, I've been doing this for over 2 hours. How is that possible? All right. Oh, we got his Shalakiri against my bro, David Vigorito. I got an email from David yesterday or something saying he wants to start an old man's league. He's tired of playing the kids. He wants to do it like an online old man's league. I haven't responded yet. I didn't know what to say. David has written a book about the Najdorf. So maybe not the best. Maybe not the best choice of openings. So. That was it. Look at that. That's David's. He's like somebody's really spent a lot of time on the openings. Yeah. Oh, we're definitely worse now. Oh, this is the Alto tournament. I should play the Alto tournament. That's a fancy move for B8, obviously. See, but when you get used to it, he's like, I don't care. I don't care. White's minors are dominated. That's the thing that has to be said. Dang, this is rough. He's trying to put you away. Oh, these are good notes, buddy. Very nice. Dang. Oh, it's brutal, man. The bishop's pinned. Now we're toast. Welcome to the Sicilian, my friends. Whew. Of all of Charlotte Carey's notes, I like that one best. Had opening insight, a nice tactical variation. I feel like he addressed the questions that needed to be addressed. I would want him to say a little bit about the dynamics, like what's going on, say, in this position. Right? To me, it's all about black has sacrificed 3 million tempi to dominate the white knights and some of the white pieces, and the pawn on c2 is a chump. And so if we don't do anything fancy, we're going to get hosed. Okay. So, that was great. Dude, can I just say, although it's the regular customers here, these are really great annotations. You know? So at least through 2000, we have really good annotations, at least. Half-Lives' annotations are so amazing. All right, wait. Let's look at Lauren here. Dojo Liga. Dojo Liga started up, I don't know, last week or something. This last week. Okay. This is a reversed Alapin, or whatever you want to call it. This move exists for black in the other positions as well. It would be interesting from white's perspective if they could avoid taking on d5, so that should be a note. Because when they take on d5, they get you allow your knight in. Is it even possible to stop it? I don't know. That's another good question. Very weird. Good. I think d3 is a little bit more to the point. Right. And now you're getting a little bit of grief. Now his pieces make a little bit more sense. Yep. Okay, good annotations. Dude, Half-Lives, I don't even know which one to pick, dude. Look at that. Look at Half-Lives, dude. Can I just say too, this is like maybe an ethnic prejudice, but the Germans in the program, they're the ones, dude. They're the ones doing it. Didn't we just have this? We just had this one, dude. We just had this. Yeah, this was the game. We just saw this. How come? No entiendo. All right, A4 is definitely not the first move on my mind here. A4 is a weird move. Especially because at the minimum, black could play A5 here. Gotta talk about that move though. Knight HF6 looks a lot more reasonable. Gotta talk about G6. Okay. So, this is a cool game. I feel like I think this might already be in there. In the database. Let me just check. I think we have this game. I thought you knew. Patamundo. Didn't we see this so far? Did we see this? Yeah, we've seen this bad boy before. Okay. I think I might have, especially if it's by upload date or date played. Dude, Half-Life is bringing it. Alright, I want to look. Didn't we just look at this? I don't understand. Yeah, we just looked at this. Why is it? Why is it showing up? Alright, we haven't looked at this dude. Okay. So it's the same variation we saw with nose. It's amazing to think is, Kovalenko's course. Kovalenko, dude, is right now fighting on the battlefield in Ukraine. I like it. I don't believe in G4 because of knight H4, right? Oh, this is great, dude. Now you're doing great. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is genius. A4. White thinks they can have all the time in the world. We're saying, no, buddy, I'm going to bust you. I'm going to bust your nose. Now, bishop D4, I don't know. Is it really forced? Do we got to do it, buddy? You could start with queen H3, for example. Okay, maybe you're saying you're just doing great. Okay, I would want more here in particular. It seems to me we gotta at least talk about queen H3. Maybe there's queen F1. So what are we saying? What is happening here? Bows. What is happening here? Right, I gotta believe in the black position, dude. Gotta believe in the black position here. F5 could also be considered. And now there's no rush to play HG. But I guess what's happening is, right, dude makes this little chess crime here and is so happy with this pawn. He offers a draw. Okay, he's playing the higher rated player. Okay, so yeah. And you offered a draw and he didn't take it? What? And then what the hell's this? Now you have bishop B5. Dude, what are we doing? Queen E2. What are we doing? Your king's better, Bows. What are you doing? Okay, I get it. He's playing for a draw against the higher rated player. But we, at least in the annotations, have to talk about other things we could have done. This is the Chess Archives. A lot of people playing in Charlotte. I'm going to play in Charlotte in January. MLK weekend. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in knight bc3. So maybe we should put that as a variation. b3 is interesting. Pop, 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 pop. These are pretty good notes, dude. Let's click on the Chess Archives. I haven't seen Chess Archives before. Grad student at University of Chicago. Nice, dude. Okay. I think that's a picture of Ulf Anderson, but maybe it's a picture of the dude himself. So, very positional chess. Yeah. That's a good note. Oh, now you're playing chess now, yeah. Now you're playing chess. Bam! No, that's the way to play it, Bows. That's the way to do it. Dang. Dang, take it easy. Okay. I would want maybe to talk a little bit about the eval here. Dang, take it easy. Putting some good chess in. Oh man, then he blunders, bishop takes c7. It's okay. It's part of the analysis process. Again, when I'm going over these games, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for people, doing the work. You definitely still have the advantage. Okay, good. Good notes. I think black needs to think about trading those queens. Okay, and I think what you're telling us is that queen c5 is the only move here. What is it that you're saying? So he's thinking about maybe queen g7 and, I don't know, not seeing that the pawn is hanging. Bang! Could have obviously played bishop takes c6 too. Very sweet. I'm going to highlight that game. That's great, man. Now, has this guy done more? Let me click on him again. Just the 2 games. It looks like they're doing pretty good work, though. Was that the one? No, this is the other one. Again, Carolina's classic. Nice. Dude, I mean, just telling you, it's very hard to pick 5 games because there's so many that are well annotated. Okay, that's the Chess Archives. Definitely want to look at people who I haven't looked at yet. Okay, I can just tell it's a little light. That's light. There's another I thought you knew. Here's Michael Scarn. Aus Deutschland. Bam! Well, why not? This is a fun setup, man. There we go. There we go. Oh. Very macho chess. I guess I want him to tell me what he thinks is happening. I think he's doing great. I just want him to tell me. Oh. Now I accepted the draw offer. Oh, man. You're doing great, buddy. What are we doing? What are we doing? At least tell us what you think, how it should have gone. Oh, man. Okay. So then. All right, how did this happen? Oh, yeah, this is a very popular variation. Here I'm out of book. F6 is definitely frisky. Okay, there's just some things to think about, like what about knight e5, right? Knight e5 looks like maybe white's better. All right. Okay. Timpa, thought you knew. Tibby. Wait, there's some people there. They just don't have an icon here. Thor Biddles. Oh man, there's so many people to look at here. We had another game recently with the same variation. Oh man. Now I think this is black is the one annotating. And I think what you want to say on b4 is you lost the tempo and you allowed bishop c4. Now I don't know, we're strategically in really bad shape. I don't understand queen b5. Why are we doing that? Castles. Right, so you need to criticize some of those earlier decisions. We don't want to allow that. No way. There's so many good annotations here, dude. What am I supposed to do? Okay, that's pretty spicy. He takes, he bites. Here my preparation ends. Yeah, well, you're doing great here. Okay, that's a good note. Wow. That's a good note too. Yeah, and here we lost control. And we should definitely consider, is DE5 actually something to do? Wouldn't we rather play knight E2 here? Woo! Okay, that's an example of opening knowledge maybe going against you. Guys, these are amazing notes. game 30 plus 20. I'm not going to do it. It's too fast. Light. Tibby's doing some good work. Gustafson's student versus Here and Now. I had this ages ago. Yeah, 95. This is prep for me 20 years ago. F4 is pretty spicy, bro. Bishop F4, Queen E7. Oh my God. Check to the miserable bishop. Wow, that's an interesting line, dude. Now, I do not believe in F4. Just castles instead. I don't know. Looks like you have a nice game here. Excuse me, I'm dying. How can it be that white is better here? Maybe it's true, but I'm just saying I got my questions. For example, I can't believe this is that great for white. Like we could play here, and knight a5, and I have d6, and this is a problem, right? Oh, okay, you guys, I'm tapped out. There is no way that ethical grandma says, the problem I find with Jesse's stream is he lacks engagement. Ah, man, returning chatter. Anyone agree? The boomer GM is too busy doing the work. That's true. I try sometimes. Okay? In this case, I really am doing the work of the program, in that this is work that needs to get done. Yeah. So, I have some apologies there, but I'm also hoping that this is interesting for people in the program, that I'm just looking at both their games, the good annotations, and I'm thinking that this is more interesting than me just doing it on my own. Also for me too, I want people, especially who are in the program, to give me feedback about these games, which are the best, and yada yada. The work won't do itself. That's right, Estiago. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to pick two. I'm definitely going to pick the nose game. That nose game analysis was stunning, man. That was really good. So I'm going to rate somebody. Pruess and Kostya are going to be on playing their game in an hour 15. Depends on my life circumstances whether I'm going to get to that or not. But right now I'm going to rate somebody. Let's raid friend of the dojo, Renga 87. Okay, my friends, say hi to Renga. He's out there in Missoula, Montana. He's probably looking at, who knows? You never know what's going to happen when you raid Renga. That guy might have his shirt off, dude. I don't know. All right, everybody. I might be back in an hour or so just to stream David's and Kostya's games. And I have to do the 2,000 plus games too. Bye.